Thank you for joining me this week on today's talk on Ayurveda. Ayurveda is a Sanskrit word which is the oldest language on the planet. Ayurveda comes from the root Ayus and Veda. Ayus meaning life and Veda meaning knowledge. Therefore, Ayurveda is the knowledge of life. Life is more than that which invigorates and animates the body. It is also that which invigorates consciousness. It exists in both a gross and a subtle form. The gross form ends when we die. The subtle form is immortal. It proceeds from lifetime to lifetime, carrying with it our karmic seeds. Ayurveda is thus the science of life, both gross and subtle. In Sanskrit, the word health is swasthya. This term comes from the root swa, means self, and stha, means established. Therefore, health is being established in the self. There are two selves in most Vedic literature. There is self, usually spelled with capital S, which signifies the higher self, or that part of which is always connected to the divine. Then there is self, usually spelled with a lowercase s, which signifies our lower self, or that part of us which is ego-based and disconnected from a sense of wholeness. In order to have perfect health, a person must be firmly established in his or her higher self, that part of each person that is connected to the divine. From this spiritual place of higher awareness, a person draws the necessary power to gain mastery over sensory indulgence. It is also from this place that a person gains awareness of his or her dharma or higher purpose. So now that you have general knowledge of this word Ayurveda, let me tell you the two main goals of Ayurveda. First, to keep the body in a state of health and free from disease. And second, to show us how to use health as a basis of or as a part of the path to enlightenment. Today, we are going to discuss 3 practices that we can apply in our life so we can become healthier and prevent disease. And for those that are interested in practicing meditation, these small changes and additions to our life will heighten our spiritual journey. So let's dive in. First, Ayurveda recommends to practice ABHYANGA, which is self-massage. ABHYANGA is an important part of our self-care routine and is best performed in the morning after Garshana, which is dry body brushing, and before a warm shower or bath. The health benefits of ABHYANGA are tremendous, starting from softer, healthier skin, healthy vision, graceful aging, firm and strong limbs, tone and vigor for the body's tissues, increased longevity, calms the nervous system and improves sleep, increases the production of oxytocin, or the loving hormone, and lower stress hormones, increase the circulation of both blood and lymph, bringing blood flow to all areas of the body and assisting in the removal of toxins, lubricates the joints, increases flexibility, and helps to tone the muscles of the arms and legs, stimulates the internal organs to promote healthy digestion, and increases levels of stamina and alertness throughout the day. This results because the massaging action boosts the metabolism, helps nourish and replenish skin tone and muscles, tunes up the functioning of internal organs, and optimizes the body's ability to flush and remove toxins. And if that weren't enough right there, also revitalizes and energizes the cells of the body. Let's talk about what you need to start your ABHYANGA. First, organic ABHYANGA oil based on your dosha. And if you don't know what your dosha is, then take an online quiz. A vessel with hot water, a small glass bottle to hold your organic ABHYANGA oil, a towel, the one that you don't mind getting oil on, so you can use it to sit on during and after your ABHYANGA. So before practicing Abhyanga, it's important to know which dosha you are. I don't recommend online quizzes. They might not be accurate. So it's better to see a specialist, an Ayurvedic doctor, go into an Ayurvedic clinic and get your diagnosis. So for Vata, practicing Abhyanga daily can be highly beneficial, even life-changing for balancing Vata. This dosha benefits from a warm oil massage in a warm environment. Vata types should make sure to keep their stroke slow and their pressure light, as this provides the most grounding for Vata. Moving on to Pitta, coolness is the key. It is important to only gently heat the oil you choose for your Abhyanga. Pitta types should aim to do Abhyanga 3 to 4 times per week. Pitta types can use slow strokes with a more moderate pressure. Oil applied to the head should be cool in the summer and slightly warm in the winter. Kapha. It is usually best to use less oil for Kapha Abhyanga than for Vata or Pitta balancing self-massage practices. Kapha types should do Abhyanga 2 to 3 times per week. Kapha types can massage the oil in with a faster pace to provide stimulation. So now let's get to how to do Abhyanga. First, warm your oil by placing your glass oil bottle in your hot water vessel. Take a deep breath and center yourself in gratitude and the intention of self-love. Using light to moderate pressure, the general rule is to work from head to your feet, from right to left. Use long strokes on the long bones and circular strokes around joints of the arms and legs. Clockwise circles on your abdomen will encourage healthy digestion. Spend extra time on your scalp, ears, hands, and feet. The Abhyanga itself should take 10 to 15 minutes, but we encourage you to take rest and allow the oil to remain on your skin for another 10 to 15 minutes before taking a warm shower or bath, so the oil can penetrate deeper into your body tissues. Wipe the soles of your feet before you go into the tub so you don't slip. Ayurvedic oil massages during pregnancy is not recommended. Abhyanga is also best avoided during the menstrual cycle, during times of great physical discomfort, or by those who have an acute illness or medical condition. While you let the oil penetrate, you can start your next self-care routine, which is oil pulling. Oil pulling is an ancient Ayurvedic technique for healing cells, tissues, and organs by supporting the body's elimination of toxic waste without disturbing healthy microflora. It involves swishing oil in the mouth for 5 to 20 minutes first thing in the morning. Both Western medicine and Ayurveda use the tongue as an important diagnostic tool, indicating the fact that a healthy mouth and a healthy tongue is interrelated to the health of the entire body. Thus, supporting our oral hygiene is a benefit for our general health. Here's a fun fact. Our mouth hosts over 600 different species of bacteria which populate the teeth, tongue, soft tissue of the cheeks and palates, and our tonsils. The oral cavity further adjoins the esophagus, nasal passages, sinuses, and the intricate ear cavities. You can see why bacteria in the mouth is such a big deal. And that is why oil pulling is recommended. The number one benefit of oil pulling is killing those harmful bacteria in your mouth. According to a 2016 study on 60 participants, oil pulling can reduce the number of bacteria found in the saliva and can help support proper oral hygiene. The second benefit, reducing bad breath. Bad breath is generally due to poor oral hygiene, tongue coating, infection, or gum disease as a result of bacteria buildup. Preventing cavities. Cavities stem from tooth decay as a result of bacteria buildup or consuming too much sugar. Plaque can also cause cavities by forming a coating of bacteria saliva, and food particles on the teeth that can damage the enamel, reducing inflammation and improving gum health. The bacteria in plaque may lead to gingivitis, which is a common gum disease characterized by red, swollen, and inflamed gums that bleed easily. Research suggests that coconut oil can reduce inflammation. This may benefit oral health and inflammation in the mouth. And lastly, teeth whitening. Oil pulling is a time-tested method for improving oral hygiene that is endorsed not only by Ayurvedic practitioners, but Western doctors, scientists, and dentists too. So how do we start oil pulling? Here are a few simple instructions for how to do oil pulling. Oil pulling is best incorporated in the morning, upon rising and on an empty stomach, as it helps to stimulate the appetite and enhance the sense of taste. Remember, you can do your ABHYANGA, and while you wait, start your oil pulling. Here are the instructions. Start by putting 1 tablespoon of oil in your mouth. Swish and pull the oil in the mouth, moving it around to both sides, front and back, and through the teeth. Continue the process for 15 to 20 minutes until the oil has become thin and whitish in color. You will want to work up to this time frame, of course. But to start, try to swish for at least 5 minutes for best results. Spit out the oil in the trash or toilet, rather down the drain. To avoid clogging the drain, do not swallow the oil. It's filled with toxins. After spitting it out, rinse the mouth with warm water. So maybe now you're wondering, well, which oil do I use? Traditionally, oil pulling was done with sesame oil, known as the king of all oils, due to its rich nutrient value. You could also use coconut oil if sesame oil is too strong for you, because it does have a certain unique taste. Oil pulling with coconut oil has also gained popularity. Right after oil pulling, it's beneficial to scrape your tongue to remove all the toxins. And that introduces us to our third self-care routine, which is tongue scraping. Various parts of the tongue are related to different parts of the body. For example, the front, roughly 1/3 of the tongue, is related to lungs and heart organs. The tiny bulges that give the tongue a certain rough texture are covered with 1,000 taste buds. These are connected to critical nerves in the brain. The central portion is connected to the pancreas, liver, spleen, and the stomach, while the back of the tongue relates to the colon and both of the intestines. A quick way to know if you have slimy toxins building up in the body in the form of ama is to look at this portion of the tongue. Paleness or whiteness indicates ama deposits. So stick out your tongue in front of a mirror and examine it. White color of the tongue reflects a KAPHA imbalance caused by mucus formation. Red or yellow, maybe a little greenish discoloration, is due to Pitta imbalance. Vata vitiation is reflected in black or brown colored tongue. Pale colored tongues show deficiency in Rakta Dhatu, meaning deficiency in blood. If you have no idea what dosha you are, it's completely okay. When you do find out, go back to this video so you can learn these self-care practices. Tongue scraping is the practice of gently grazing the tongue with the help of a U-shaped tool or a scraper to remove the debris and bad bacteria and clear out the surface of the tongue. This is a complementary practice to brushing, flossing, and mouthwash. Toxins that accumulate due to weak metabolism or digestive agni also show up on the surface of the tongue. If not cleared out, they are absorbed back in the system and can lead to disease and weak immunity. So here are the 5 top benefits of tongue scraping. First, removes bad breath. Second, immunity booster. Third, better digestion. Fourth, taste bud activation. And lastly, activates organs. Moving on, How to scrape the tongue. Stick the tongue as far out of your mouth as comfortable to prevent gagging. Place your scraper as far back as you can. Apply enough force that the scraper sits flat against your tongue, but not so much that it hurts. Slowly pull it forward to the tip of your tongue. Spit out any saliva and debris that have accumulated on your scraper and rinse and wipe off, and repeat. Repeat until you have scraped the whole surface 5 to 10 times. Rinse your mouth with warm or room temperature water. Clean and rinse the scraper thoroughly with warm water, and then follow by brushing your teeth. Note: keep the scraper cleaned and sterilized. Do not use it harshly on the tongue or use too much pressure. Do not scrape your tongue if you have a mouth sore or wound. So today we discussed 3 self-care routines recommended by Ayurveda. If the term Ayurveda is new to you, you may feel overwhelmed, and that is completely alright. You might not know which dosha you are or what that even is. In that case, I recommend you start off with adding tongue scraping to your routine. And while you're practicing tongue scraping, find a local Ayurvedic practitioner to consult with to figure out which dosha you are. And if for some reason you cannot go to an Ayurvedic doctor, then just do ABHYANGA with sesame oil, because sesame oil is tridoshic. It is good for all 3 doshas. And remember, these are self-care routines to do in the morning, empty stomach. So introduce these practices into your life step by step. Choose one and then keep adding until this becomes a part of your self-care routine. I wish you a happy and healthy journey ahead. Stay safe and God bless.